为阿贵紧张，我已经走了。
这泄露嘛，哪里的片儿？
So I was thinking about something. I keep hearing from people how religion is the cause of many of the problems in our society, you know, and if you got rid of religion, you wouldn't have those problems. We'd be on this new level of human existence, how great we would be, and how everything would just be awesome. We have all this knowledge. I think that's nonsense. Well, I will say that religion has been used as an excuse to commit many atrocities throughout history. I feel this opinion does not take everything into account and is misguided for a number of reasons I will get into here. You know, First of all, we seem to only talk about the bad things religion is responsible for, but not the good things. Let's consider all the Christian charities like Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, YMCA, Habitat for Humanity, International, and much more. In the wake of Hurricane Katrina, many churches, stepped up and helped a great deal of people. The Catholic Church brought us universities, medical advances, and even the printing press, so more people can read more than ever. Let's also consider how religion has played a role in the nonviolent movements of Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi as well. With religion comes boundaries, and the social norm is always changing. And anything that has boundaries, and there's people that, and someone's pleasure is not being gratified, they feel as if things should change. No boundaries mean everyone can do whatever they want. Human beings hate structure. They hate rules. They hate regulations and not being able to do whatever they want. You know, um, Now I will admit there are rules that make no sense. There are things that make no sense in our society. There are regulations that are bad regulations that should be changed. But many people, it's not an issue if they want stuff to be changed where it makes sense or it's fair. They just don't want any type of rules or structure. Period. They just don't want anything. Period. It doesn't matter, whether it makes sense to have a rule in place. They don't want those rules. How many people are in prison, get fired from their jobs, or can't stay in a stable marriage because they don't want any restrictions at all, hence the hate of religion. Let's consider how people behave with the absence of religion in a society. Since, getting rid of religion is going to lead us into the light and make us this advanced race of beings. How about the Soviet Union, which was almost entirely atheist at one point? They practically slaughtered their own people. The Soviet Union, communist China, North Korea, Vietnam, they were all terrible places to live, and the state was openly anti-religion. If we got rid of religion, would gangs suddenly stop shooting people? Would there be no more drug dealings? Would prostitution, racism, rape, child abuse, domestic violence suddenly go away? Perhaps I'm wrong, but I find these things very doubtful. A lot of the stuff that human beings do, it has nothing to do with religion. Religion is oftentimes an excuse to do things. Yes, governments throughout history have used religion to rally people to attack other nations and justify violence. Hitler was actually very keen on trying to associate Nazism with Christianity while working to persecute clergymen and create his own denomination. However, many wars used our fight over land, resources such as oil, or strategic reasons. The invasion of Iraq by the United States was undertaken for strategic reasons. With control of Iraq, we had a spearhead and base up operations to launch attacks against many other Arab nations, if need be. Also, removing Saddam would be a demonstration of U.S. military might. While Saddam did not have links to Al Qaeda, he did have links to other terrorist groups. Also, Saddam presented a visible enemy after the Taliban had fallen apart and gone into hiding. Saddam was known as a brutal dictator, and removing him would not meet with much international resistance. Removing Saddam was also considered part of the domino effect of the domino effect the U.S. had in mind, which would lead to democracy in a region devoid of it. However, whatever reason we had, You will notice that religion played no part in the U.S. invading Iraq. In fact, it plays no part in many wars and conflicts. Yeah. Also, let's examine the idea that science with no religion standing in its way will lead us into a new golden age. Science has done a lot, but considering that a lot of horrible things have been created by science as well, here are a few things that cause massive deaths created by scientists. Zyklon B, the guillotine, sarin gas, DDT, Agent Orange, landmines, Freon, CFC, the atomic bomb. There's a dark side to science, ranging from the development of pathogenic bioweapons. Yes, pathogenic bioweapons. Look them up. Um, to the potential contamination of native gene pools in our environment. In many cases, well-meaning scientists have seen their inventions used for negative purposes. Alfred Bennett, his IQ test he created, got hijacked by eugenics obsessed racist. Um, Peter Jensen watched his loudspeaker end up being used by Hitler for propaganda in the 1940s. A man named Arthur Glaston came up with an idea to make soybeans grow faster. It seemed to work, but it would make plants die in large quantities. The military experimented with his invention and created Agent Orange, a deadly Vietnam War herbicide the military used to kill large swaths of vegetation, plant life, and marine life. Okay? So this guy just wanted to make food grow faster, and he used it to kill plants and animals. Science cannot fix the problems in human society for one simple reason. Uh, Human beings are not entirely logical beings, but equal part emotion. Logic, science, and reason cannot always reach the emotional parts of human beings, which is why something like religion has such a strong effect on people. Some people lean more towards rational thinking, while others lean more towards emotional thinking. And emotional thinking cannot be reached by scientific thought or reason. Honestly, I really think there's a large segment of our people in our society who would commit all types of crimes, lying or theft, if not for their religion. Science alone will not create a new golden age, as there will always be people willing to use any new invention for evil purposes. Look at the internet, which is now used for many good purposes, but many bad ones as well. At the end of the day, we can remove religion, but must understand that the problem is not religion, government, gender, toxic masculinity, any of that crap, but basic human nature. And many of the problems in our society will never go away as long as human beings exist. I'm sorry. Anyone who thinks the desire to oppress, abuse, and exploit will go away because religion is gone is living in a fantasy world. So it's just my thoughts and my opinion. Because I keep hearing this all the time. Oh, we get rid of religion, we'll have all this knowledge and everybody be all great. Nah. It doesn't work like that. That's not reality. Okay, getting rid of religion is not going to stop most of the problems in our society. And actually, like I said,